You take that ball and you run,
Take
Izzy.
that ball and you run.
You run. How do we teach our young kids about sportsmanship? Man, when you poke the bear, that shit comes back to bite you, okay?
I appreciate celebrating. I think that it's an important element of sport, but there is a line where you just
Yes.
don't rub it in the
Yes.
face of the opponents.
Attention. The party is about to commence.
Welcome to the party!
What's up, party people? I'm Julie Foudy.
And I'm Abby Wambach. Party people, we are kicking off a brand new segment called The Party Buzz, where we dig into everything buzzy in the world of sports. And today, guess what we're going to start with, Jules? We are starting with basketball. And joining us is freelance sports journalist and host of Odyssey's Women's Hoop Show, Jordan Robinson. Here, she's going to give us all the scoop on all the things hoops.
Yes.
The Party Buzz College Hoops Edition with Jordan Robinson. Jules, I'm so pumped because somebody's going to finally teach us all the things that we pretend to know, but we really don't.
Jordan, thank you,
Thank you, guys.
friend.
I'm so excited. Thanks for having me in the party.
Oh my God. Yeah. Welcome to the party. All invited. Thank you for making it. Let's start. We spoke on Tuesday with UCLA's Corey Close. We talked Players Era Tournament, the loss to Texas. I mean, but let's talk about that tournament first of all, because first time they've had it, Texas, South Carolina, UCLA, and Duke. Come on.
It was a big deal to get this much competition this early in the season. Typically, this is a March Madness lineup that we get these big top-ranked schools all playing each other, especially back-to-back. They played each other within 24 hours of each other. So Players Era, this was the first year for the women. 2024, it was the first year for the men. But for the men's side, they had 18 teams. Each school gets $1 million towards their NIL, which is insane. Yeah, $1 million. Then on the men's side, they're like, okay, that's not enough. Next year, it's going to be 32 teams. So the women got 4. We're going to work on that. We're going to try to get that up for next year. But all 4 of the women's teams got the same amount of money. That's also a big deal. They also got $1 million each for just showing up. And it was this idea that, you know, all the competition in the early season is lacking. We need to bring that up. Give the hype, give something. It was in Las Vegas on the Aces court. It was a big time showdown. And the play lived up to it. Absolutely. UCLA going against Texas, like you mentioned, but Texas was the champion. And it was so dramatic. Yeah. We love drama. It was a near buzzer beater by the point guard Roy Harmon with 1 second left, defeating South Carolina. And Texas is the real deal, you guys. I don't know how much you know, but after beating UCLA and South Carolina, they moved up to the number 2 team right behind UConn. They have Roy Harmon, like I said, that point guard, but they have Madison Booker. All you need to know, Booker, bucket. Booker, bucket. That's just say that over and over. That's what it'll Booker, get into your brain, that she is a bucket getter. Her mid-range game is sweet. And when you talk about a Texas team and a Vic Schaefer coach team, you have to talk about defense. They are swarming, sweltering on defense. They're getting charges, making you turn the ball over. That's how they're winning games. And that's why they're the number 2 team in the country.
Do you know who is paying for this tournament? And how is this getting sponsored and funded?
Okay, so what I found from doing some digging, because that's an obvious question. Who is giving all these teams millions of dollars for their NIL collective, we have to say? So they had a title sponsor, they had Geico, but this is a group of founders who, one of them was the co-founder of And One, which is a popular brand, basketball brand, And One mixtapes from back in the day. So this is his way to get back into college hoops. But it's really from funding, from advertisements, from their sponsorships on the courts. They have that title sponsor of Geico. So that's how they were able to shell out a lot of this money. That's what I found.
All right, I think we're going to switch gears because LSU's been on a hot streak. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? And want to talk a little bit about Malaysia transferring from LSU to South Carolina, one of the biggest shakeups in the portal last year.
Yes. Okay. I'm so excited to talk about this. So, LSU has set an NCAA Division I record by starting the season with 8 consecutive 100-point games. Yeah. They have scored 100 points or more in 8 straight games. And when you look at it, it's almost 900 points when you add it all up. They are scoring like crazy. How? And it's because they have one of the best backcourts in all of college basketball. Flau'jae Johnson.
What's backcourt?
Okay, guards. Okay. They have great guards. Great guards. They're speedy. They're fast. They can score. And they also just get steals like no one's business. So it's like a layup line.
Okay.
Flau'jae Johnson is a name that you have to know. She is a senior. Yeah. She's awesome. Not only is she a rapping superstar, she's a musician, by the way.
Seen it.
But on the court, she takes care of business as well. This is her senior year, and I think she's looking into this season as a audition tape for WNBA teams. They want to know if she can score at this level, at the highest level. And I think that she is already showing that in these first 8 games. Now, the asterisk with this record is that they have not been playing high competition at all. These are schools that aren't even in the ballpark of an LSU.
They were not at the Players Era tournament.
No, they were not at the Players Era tournament. No one has been ranked. That's not something that they do. Now, Kim Mulkey has been criticized for this in the past because it's kind of inflating their record. Like, yes, they are undefeated. Mm-hmm. Yes, they have over 100 points, but she's not scheduling tough competition from the beginning. So while other schools are in the player era or are playing ranked opponents to get that litmus test right from the beginning, she doesn't do that. But still, you have the guards, you have the players that are on display. And you mentioned, Abby, Malaysia Fulwiley. This was the shock of the offseason. The tea is South Carolina signs Taniyah Latson, who was the leading scorer in women's college basketball last season. They sign her in the portal, and that's when everyone was like, there goes Malaysia's minutes. Like, how is she going to play and Malaysia play? There's not enough space on the court. So as soon as that sign happened, Malaysia entered the portal. She said she's going to LSU, and it's working out for her. LSU, she's their leading scorer. She's still coming off the bench. She's still electric. She's all those things. But I will say, if you have something scheduled for February 14th when LSU plays South Carolina, cancel it. Cancel it. It's going to be must-watch TV.
Who needs Valentine's Day? No one does.
No one needs Valentine's Day. This is your Valentine.
We're watching
you
women's
have to
basketball.
Watch this game.
Do you think Malaysia went for the Kim Mulkey outfits?
Oh, God.
Maybe.
I mean,
and what do you think of the Kim Mulkey outfits, Jordan? I need to know.
You know, I interviewed Kim Mulkey at the Final Four the year that they won it, and I asked her about her closet, and she said that it's taken on an aura of its own. She's like, I didn't know that it was going to be this way. My former student styles me, but I was like, I just want to see what's in that closet. It's feathers, it's sequins, it's glitz, it's glam, it's everything. I love it. Yeah. I think that it's so opposite of her fiery and stern personality that I just love the irony there of the peacock feathers, and then she's cussing at refs on the court. I love it.
All right. A name to know. Who is your player? Who do we need to know? What's a name we should know?
Okay. A name that you should know is Sila Swords. She is a guard from Michigan. Yes. She is so good, you guys. Really, really good. She's only a sophomore. And the game that Michigan played against UConn, her and AZ Fudd, it was like a shooting clinic. They were just going back and forth, trading threes. And these are high, difficult shots. She's shooting off the dribble with the 6'2" guard or forward flying at her. And she's still making them. She made it look so easy. And you can just tell when someone is in the gym, you know, just getting those reps up. Doesn't matter what part of the court, what time, shot clock winding down, game on the line. She was putting them down. And till this day, that was the toughest competition that UConn has faced. Went down to the wire. Silas Sword scored 29 points, and she scored 9 points in the last minute. That's three threes. We thought the game was over. Everyone, UConn was like, whew, okay, finally, we got some separation. Here she comes again. Tough three, out of bounds play. She was so good. And I think she put everyone on notice. I don't know if a lot of people were paying attention to Michigan, but she was able to not only boost her team's visibility, but herself as well. She has a ton of experience coming into this season, and it shows.
I watched some of those replays and I was like, all right, Sila, I see you. I see you. You're still young. You're still young, but you'll get there. Okay,
also
Jordan,
a cool name.
I know, it is a cool name. It's like a good Silas Swords, like, come on.
You have to be just a sniper from the 3-point line with that name.
Jordan, there was a recent USA basketball roster drop. Do you have any takeaways on the roster drop?
Yeah, I think my biggest takeaway is no one panic. This is a training camp roster. This is not the Olympic team. We are not going into the Olympics tomorrow. I think there was a lot of high anxiety when you just see Team USA and a list of names. So that was my first thing. My other takeaway was that, you know, there were 2 college players on this list, which is kind of rare. That doesn't typically happen. But Lauren Betts, you talked to Corey Close, UCLA, a lottery pick for sure, 6'7" center. She's on this list. And Juju Watkins, a superstar out of USC. Juju is taking this whole season off. She tore her ACL in March. So she is not going to be playing. But I still think for both of them, so much knowledge from just being there, just being in the gym with this level of talent.
That's cool. And it was quite a list too of all the top names in women's basketball that we're so familiar with. Okay, that's what's buzzing in the world of women's hoops. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, Jordan. Kicking it off, our very first party buzz. You can find more from Jordan, on Instagram or TikTok at Jordan Liggins, or TikTok is Hey Jordan Robinson. Her handles will be in the show notes as well. Jordan, you are a rock star. We appreciate that so much. Thank you for doing that.
Thank you so much for
having me.
Come back anytime. You're more than welcome.
Abs.
Yo.
Why does this surprise me every year? I don't know why, but the holidays, they keep creeping up on me.
Same.
And here's the thing, though. With Wayfair, you're actually prepared. So from bedding and linens to gifts to decor to every room in the house, Wayfair is your one-stop shop. And I cannot tell you how many times I've gotten compliments on a chair or a throw blanket or, true story, my entire outdoor furniture I just bought on Wayfair. Yeah.
Nice.
And whenever they are like, where did you get that? I'm like, Wayfair. It's easy. You too should try it.
Yeah.
So I have a huge rowdy fowdy family, as you know, and my house becomes like the central gathering spot for holidays. So I couldn't be more thrilled to have, and we spend a lot of time. I push them outside because we're in California. It's nice still, right? You all outside. So we have all this now nice new outdoor furniture I got. And it makes a difference. So when you go to Wayfair and you know the items that you will need, because they send them and they send them quickly. Like this furniture that I got, an entire outdoor set, got shipped, Abby, in 2 days.
What?
Okay? Yes. 2 days.
Nice.
And you know how like sometimes you're like, I'm going to get this couch. And it's like, you're going to have to
7
wait
weeks.
you're going to have to wait 9 months for that. What?
Yeah.
So in my family, they're very particular, but I know with Wayfair's wide selection, I can get like something that's perfectly suited for everyone. So party people, get last minute hosting essentials, gifts for all your loved ones, and decor to celebrate the holidays for way less. Head to wayfair.com right now to shop all things home. That's Wayfair, WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home, every party.
This episode is brought to you by our friends at Shipt. Thanks for sponsoring the pod, y'all. Shipt makes the holiday season more joyful by helping you save time with same-day delivery on everything you need. Groceries, decor, gifts, and so much more. From your favorite local and national stores like Albertsons, Michael's, Target, and PetSmart. Great stores. I love that Shipt starts with groceries because, let's be honest, no matter how many lists I make, Jules, there's always something I forget every single time. And it's not just groceries, okay? Shipt, it's just making gifting and hosting easy. No matter how many kids or what size army is trampling through your home this year. Plus, members get $0 delivery fees on orders over $35, and they offer same-day delivery. So I'm not spending my special family time in checkout lines. Like, you're not either, Jules, right?
Hallelujah,
Yeah. So save even more during the holidays with Shipt's exclusive saving event, Season of Savings, happening from November 16th through December 28th. Shop tons of deals, including member-exclusive savings all season long. Terms apply, and download that app or order now at shipt.com. That's SHIPT.com.
So Abs and I were doing a talk on sportsmanship for the Rose Bowl Institute recently, and a quick shout out to the Rose Bowl Institute, by the way. Both Kinger and I sit on their advisory board, and the Rose Bowl Institute is a nonprofit tied to the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, whose mission is to foster education and conversation around sportsmanship and leadership and just basically be a good citizen. Kind of like be a good teammate, be a good citizen. Anyway, Abby and I did this talk on sportsmanship the other day for their Women's Empowerment Symposium, and we thought, this is actually something we could be talking about on the pod. And this would be really good as part of our ongoing episodes that we will do and continue to do on the pod around youth sports. Because we're going to have to talk a lot about that. The craziness that surrounds youth sports. So here's the thing with sportsmanship. Because, Abby, I think a lot of people think about sportsmanship in terms of how do we teach our young kids about sportsmanship and how do we teach young kids to be good sports, right? All very important. But I think we're focusing on the wrong end of that equation. I think instead of focusing on how we teach our kids about sportsmanship, we should start with how do we teach adults about sportsmanship, because we're the ones modeling it to our kids. We're the ones showing our kids what good sportsmanship looks like, or we're supposed to be. But as you and I know, and I think a lot of parents know, sometimes that modeling is not great modeling. It's bad.
That's right.
If you go to a sporting event and parents are going crazy on the sidelines, adults are going crazy on the sidelines, yelling at the referees, yelling at the coaches, yelling sometimes at the other players, God forbid, right? What do we as adults need to be doing first and foremost to model that? That's right. What I want to talk about.
Yeah. I mean, Jules, I think about, and we're going to get into this in more detail, but I think because our culture really prioritizes winning as the standard, as the thing that's what sports are for. And in our family, we really value and prioritize teammanship and sportsmanship more than the winning part. it's my belief, and I know, Jules, you agree, that if you can get the teamsmanship and the sportsmanship thing right, the winning usually comes.
Yes.
And it's a byproduct of the real reason why we're all doing sport.
Right.
We get our kids into sports not because we want to teach them just to become winners, but because we want them to have and embody the values of what sports is all about. It's about learning how to be a teammate. It's about learning how to be in community. It's about learning how to deal with conflict, with losing and with winning. And how can we do that in a way that makes us like a well-rounded human being? And so often our culture puts the priority on winning, which then creates, I just think it's the wrong message to send.
A lot of angst.
It's a lot of anxiety.
A lot of angst.
And I think a lot of where a lot of sportsmanship, both parents and players, goes bad. Not only is it's this expectation, but it's unmet expectation of winning that gets these parents going sideways on the sidelines and gets the kids reacting incorrectly on the field or on the bench or whatever it might be. Because of this priority that winning is the source, it's like the way to successful life. I just don't believe that that's true. I do understand that winning is an element of sport. It was something that really drove me. I wanted to win. I wanted to win games.
Yeah.
But it's not just about the final score. It's how you win that also matters. Right.
And I think, with parents, with the best of intentions, right? Because we get it. We've been on the sidelines. You've heard my Izzy, take that ball and you run story, right? Of me losing my mind in her first ever soccer game at all of 6 or 7 years old. And with the best of intentions, we want our kids to be successful. We want them to be successful in sports and life and all the things. But lost in that is when you talk about it going sideways, and I love the Glennon approach, Glennon, Abby's wife, on the sidelines, because sometimes you get so excited as a parent, and of course we get that, but you cannot talk. Shut up. They say the one thing when they ask kids, what advice would they give to parents? They're like, please stop talking.
That's right.
Right? So can you give the Glennon her solution to all of this again?
Yeah.
Because it's worth repeating.
Look, I am not a perfect parent on the sidelines by any means. I sometimes get too involved in the game in my mind. But for the most part, I try to sit there silently and only cheer positive things like, good job, way to go.
Collective. I stay collective.
And so when
team.
when we go to the games, we often have a bunch of lollipops in our bags in case a parent does get a little bit unruly. And so as a sportsmanship move, not only do I just go hand out lollipops, I put one in my mouth and I go around and I say to the other parents, I need a little help today to keep my mouth shut, and maybe the rest of us do too. Would you like a lollipop?
Oh, that's a great way of saying it. Instead of you zip it.
Yeah.
It's hey, I too need some help.
Yeah. I'm feeling a little bit
too?
I'm feeling a little bit of I'm feeling a little out of sorts, and I'm feeling a little bit chippy. We call it chippy on the sidelines. I don't know if you guys call it that, but when it's getting chippy out there and then the parents start getting chippy. Yeah. I'm feeling a little chippy today, so maybe you would like also to have a lollipop. And it's just a nice, lovely reminder. And who doesn't want a lollipop, Julie?
Yeah. Who doesn't?
Plug it. Plug it, folks.
Plug it.
Keep the lollipop in your mouth. If
Plug
you need to bring multiple for the entirety of the game, chew some gum, go for a walk. Keep your mouth shut on the sideline, because then that is how, because it's an energy field that's happening, right? So when the parents are sitting on the sidelines and they're watching their kids play, some sort of battle, some sort of interaction with your child is going to happen during this game.
Yeah.
And sometimes your kid's going to get knocked down.
Yeah.
Sometimes the referee's going to call a foul that you didn't think was a foul. That's just a for sure thing that's going to happen.
Or the ball's going to pop to your kid and she's got a one-on-one with the keeper.
Yeah.
And you're very excited about it, as I got.
Exactly.
Yes.
and so there's going to be moments where you're going to feel the impulse to want to start directing, to yell at the players, to yell at the referee, to yell for whatever reason. And that energy makes it harder for the kids to keep their cool because the kids are feeling it. They're feeling the whole thing. They're feeling whether the referee missed the call or got it wrong. They're feeling if they've been fouled and it wasn't called. They're feeling if they've missed the goal. They're feeling all of it. And so when the parents step into the environment and start adding on the pressure, again, of the expectation of winning, again, of the it makes them not be able to actually stay in their body and to be able to perform well. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. It's just added anxiety they do not need.
Yeah.
You absolutely do not need that, right? They already, and again, I get it happens with the best of intentions, but just a reminder, like if someone hands you a lollipop or if you have a problem on the sidelines of zipping it, then bring lollipops. I love it. It's such a great idea.
Yeah, Jules, do you want to tell your Izzy story or is the one that you were talking about?
Yeah, that was, I don't think I need to. That's when I got all excited and she had a 1v1.
I just love when that's my favorite story. I don't even care how many times you tell it.
You take that ball and you run,
Take
Izzy.
that ball and you run.
You run. Paging crazy soccer mom. Oh, shoot. Okay, can we also talk about, again, on the adult side, the car ride home?
Oh, yeah. This is big.
Because,
big. Did you know? So I went to the University of Florida, go Gators. And, a lot of colleges do summer camps every summer. And they sometimes use these summer camps as a way to recruit and see if there's like somebody coming up that they might have missed in one of the showcases. And the University of Florida, they do a survey for all of their campers, and they've been doing it for 20 plus years. And in the survey, one of the questions they ask their campers, their soccer players, is if you could choose to have somebody drive you home from a game, who would you want to drive you home from a soccer game?
That's part of their camp survey.
Yes.
Oh, I love that.
And overwhelmingly, the survey shows that kids want their grandparents to drive them home from games.
Yeah.
And so I ask you, Julie Foudy, why do you think that is? Why do you think they don't want the parents?
Say, honey, that was so great.
Yeah.
Great game.
Great game.
They are not going, hey, what did you think about this? And what did you think about that? And you maybe on this play, you could have done this.
Yeah.
Or maybe when you hit that ball over the crossbar from 5 yards out, you could have gotten your knee over it, right?
Right.
Nothing you want to hear in that moment.
Right. And in an attempt, because again, I do think that this is best of intentions, because as parents, we're like, oh, we've got to teach our kids and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And also we got to pay attention. So this is a way for us to maybe connect in some ways. But the car rides home and the car rides to the game, they have to be, in my mind, I don't even know if they're necessarily about the game. I think it's like, no. Hey, how you feeling? Like, how do you think that was? It's ask a couple of questions, but not have it be about the game. It's like, I saw this player do this really cool thing because she brought the water to the player who was injured out on the field. And I thought that was so interesting. Right. And so the things that you're noticing are the things that your children will start to prioritize, right? So when you talk about, oh, I saw that player, she scored this goal and she got in behind and maybe your kid didn't score that game. Your kid is interpreting that comment as, oh, my parent knows that I didn't score and that's what they really want. And they're really, the expectation I now have to attain their attention and their affirmation is to score. And so then you wonder why your kid doesn't score goals is because the expectation is too high. You've created this environment, but just by having these conversations on the car rides to games and the car rides home, like there's nothing you as a parent is going to say that's going to make them play better or worse. and it could make them play worse. But I don't think that there's anything apparent. Even me, who knows the shit, even you, Jules, nothing I'm going to say is going to change in that car ride whether they play well.
No, and it's only going to create, if anything, more anxiety. And I think this stat I heard would help parents because it gets to the root of the problem. This is a stat from the Aspen Institute's Project Play, and it says 70% of kids drop out of sports by age 13. Oof. 70% of kids, I'm just going to say it again, are dropping out of sports by age 13, right? There's a lot of factors for this, we know, right? One of the main reasons why they found out, it's not fun, and they're not meeting the expectations of their parents. Oof. And so when you think about it with the best of intentions, a parent, think about that stat. How are you bringing joy into the equation? How? Right? And everything, that should be your North Star. How are we making this enjoyable for the kids? Where they're having fun, even when losing, which we know stinks, right? But it's not, instead of your North Star being, I got to get my kid to college, right? I got to get my kid on an ECNL top level team if it's soccer, right? I got to get my kid here. Just think, like, back up a little bit and say, how do we want our kids to continue to play? Because we do. We want our kids to continue to play. We want them to play beyond 13 because as the studies and stats show in research that if your kid continues to play, right, less likely to get pregnant, more likely to finish college, all these great things, more likely to get a higher paying job or have, a better mental health, less likely to commit suicide, all these things we know that sports help with. So think about that rather than what I think society has programmed us to do of winning college scholarships, all those things, right?
Yeah. And Jules, I just want to add to that because I just want to say, as a parent who's gone through the system of club soccer, ECNL club soccer, and AYSO and Rec League,
same.
I just want to say, I understand why some parents can fall into the trap of taking on the child's sport as their own hobby in life. Children's sports are expensive, okay? Especially as you go up into the elite ranks. You're traveling on airplanes and you're paying for hotels and rental cars and Airbnbs. It's expensive. And those resources are being funneled into the direction of these youth sports. And so I understand why some of us might not be able to fully grasp that this is for them and not so much as an outlet for me in my life. Because, the truth is, it's kind of a really fun experience to be a parent of a kid who is doing all these really fun, going to these tournaments and whatnot. It's expensive. And so I understand that the parents want to get a return. There's like an investment that they're seeing in the process of youth sports.
What's my ROI?
Exactly.
Return on investment.
Exactly. And I just want parents to remember that the return isn't, and if you have it as a parent in your mind, that you are expecting a return of investment that is correlated to a college scholarship or getting into a good college or
an NIL deal.
An NIL deal, right? If that is what your return on investment is, then you are going to be a parent on the sidelines that has unrealistic expectations that is probably going to get out of hand. That is going to be yelling.
You're going to need a lollipop.
Yeah, because
you're going to need one.
You're basing this experience is not the experience that I believe all of us should try to be having on the sidelines, which is honoring your kid, which is celebrating your kid, which is putting yourself in an observer role, like watching your kid become a person, rather than you needing to insert yourself into that equation over and over again. I think that that's where it gets really tough, especially because kids don't want their parents, especially when they become teenagers. They don't want their parents to insert themselves into any part of their life. They call it plant parenting, where you just pretend like you are a plant in a room. And when your children come to you and they need something, then
I've never heard of this.
Yeah, plant parenting. And I think that that's
Wait, say it again. When you're a plant in the room.
Yeah, when you're a plant in the room, you just stand in the corner and you wait for your kids to come to you. You just wait. We did this when the oldest started to get into his teens, and then the younger started to get into their teens. We stopped going and putting our children to bed for themselves, right? They start to do it themselves. Right. And so Glennon and I made a pact with each other that we're not going to automatically just go into their rooms without knocking, without getting approval. And in fact, we just won't go to their rooms. Like, that's not going to be something that we do. And so now, interestingly enough, what's happened, we've got 22-year-old, a 19-year-old, and a 17-year-old. And almost every single night when all three of them are home, Glenn and I will go get in bed around 9 o'clock because we go to bed very early. And lo and behold, all three of them will come to our bedroom and say goodnight to us. Because it's like
cute.
It's their room becomes their safe space, right? And when you constantly intrude their safe space, it's like they're not even doing anything wrong. They just feel like it because somebody's walked into their safe space, you know? Okay, let's be honest. Most bras were designed by people who have never worn one. Okay?
Yes.
It was founded by women who were done settling for just good enough.
Yeah.
Okay? These bras, Jules, actually solve real fit problems. Extra lift, no spillage, no digging, just comfort that lasts all day. And they're made with high quality materials and even thermoregulating fabrics. So, Jules, you know us, we're getting towards that menopause.
I was just going to say, I am so appreciative of that. Yes, thank you.
Stay cool. And did you know that they have 60 plus sizes from AA to H, including the half cup sizes? Because, you know, our boobs are just not the same size. You usually have one that's bigger than the other. It's like so weird, but that's just the way it is.
My sister calls me lopsided.
But they invented this for us in betweeners, right? So seriously, half cups. How has nobody thought of this before?
I don't know.
It seems
brilliant.
Kind of unfair that it's taken this long. Thank you, Third Love, for thinking of all of our boob sizes. Okay, so the ones that I'm reaching for without even thinking, they are that good. And if you can see me out in the wild, I am 100% wearing one, and you can't see it because it's under my clothes. So I'm just going to tell you about it here instead. I promise I'm wearing them. Stop settling for average bras. Get solutions made for your body. Get $15 off your first purchase at thirdlove.com with code podcast15. That is podcast15.
Thank you for not flashing us. This show is sponsored by MIDI Health. Thank you, MIDI Health. And Abs, I'll be honest, I used to think that I had my body down to a science, right? I knew what I needed, what it could handle, how to get it back on track. And then life threw at me perimenopause and menopause. And suddenly I was like, what is happening? Why did someone change the settings on me? I don't get it. Like, temperature settings changed, everything. I had all these symptoms, these questions, a lot of fog and no clear places to turn. And that's why MIDI Health becomes this absolutely game changer, because they're actually bringing real expertise to the phase of life. Most women are expected to just like figure it out.
So annoying.
Yeah. And I'm like, what do you mean? I don't even know what the hell this is. How am I supposed to figure it out?
Exactly.
With MIDI, you can meet online with clinicians who specialize in perimenopause and menopause. and they can actually explain like what's happening, why you're feeling that way, and how, most importantly, you can feel better. They support everything from hormone health to sleep to mood to energy and weight management, and it's all through personalized care that's covered by insurance.
So good.
Because here's what we know. This stage of life isn't ending. So you got to wrap your arms around it, party people. It's a transition that we're going to handle just fine. And you deserve care that meets you right where you are. Ready to feel your best and write your second act script? Yes. Yep. Visit joinmidi.com today to book your personalized insurance covered virtual visit. That's joinmidi.com. Midi, the care women deserve. I think too, and if you need a reminder on sportsmanship for the kid side of it or the player side of it, right? Mm-hmm. I look no further than what happened to us as a U.S. women's national team in the 95 World Cup semifinal. We were playing Norway. I'm just going to give you a quick story, but like it's a reminder to players to not poke the bear by rubbing it in the face of the opponent when you beat them. Okay? Because this is what happens when you do this. And I get like you want to do it and it feels really good in the moment, but man, when you poke the bear, that shit comes back to bite you, okay? Mm-hmm. And this is what Norway did to us. We're playing them in the Women's World Cup in 1995, semifinal. Michelle Akers gets injured. She goes out. She was our Mufasa, big curly-haired lion mane, amazing 6-foot-tall player who had the team on her shoulders. She gets injured. We end up losing to Norway in that semifinal. And it was gut-wrenching for us. Right? We're the reigning World Cup champions at the time. And Norway gets in this, what I call a centipede crawl. So imagine you're on all four, like your hands and your knees and you're crawling, okay? But you grab the ankles of the person in front of you.
They're on a train. They're a centipede crawl train.
Yeah, centipede crawl train. And they start friggin' centipede crawl training around us as they won and singing. And I was like, what is happening? So we took a picture of that centipede crawl train. We put it in our locker room and we made sure to talk about Norway. We called them the Viking bitches. We made sure to talk about those Viking bitches, right? To a point where like, I wouldn't even we do World Cup teams at, we've done this camp forever where you, for kids, soccer camp and locally in Mission Viejo.
I love playing World Cup. It's the best. Yeah.
And we start the camp by you're on a World Cup team. So you're a country. So you're on United States, you're on England, you're on Germany, you're on Brazil, right? And you're with that team. And at the end of the camp, you play this huge World Cup. I would not, after that happened, we forever did not have Norway as part of our World Cup at camp. Like if a Norway sign popped up or there was a Norway team, I'd be like, I'm sorry, you are not Norway. They have been banned from the United Nations of Julie Foudy soccer camps and you're out. So no Norway in the camps. So Norway does this crawl, right? Guess who we meet, party people, in the semifinals of the Olympics the very next year? Abby, do you remember?
Norway.
Guess what happened?
What happened, Jules?
We were down 1-0 to them. And because Norway had pissed us off so much with that crawl, we spent an entire year not just being fit and tactically ready and technically ready. We spent an entire year on the mental side, the little small fraction that actually takes you over to be when I'm swearing too much on this when I get excited about Norway. When the shit hits the fan, right? Like you need that edge. Now we're down 1-0. How are you at halftime when you're playing Norway? We're fine because we had done the work, thanks to them, in the last year and Dr. Colleen Hacker. And we get to that halftime of the Olympics and the semifinal, and it was like a different halftime than the year prior. We were like, bring it. We're fine. It's fine. We go back to win that game, beat them 2-1, and then beat China in the final to win the Olympics. But my point to you kids and players is do not poke the bear.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that.
I love that
Have you had an
story,
experience
Jules.
like that?
Yeah, Jules, you know, that story reminds me in 1996 when I went to the Olympic Training Center and we got to tour your guys' locker room.
You saw it?
We U16, we saw the picture, and it actually made me understand and reorganize my thoughts around failure and what that meant. But we did have a moment like that. In 2007, we lost to Brazil in the World Cup. And it was one of the biggest losses. We got knocked out of the tournament, the earliest we'd ever been knocked out in 2007.
That was the 2007 World Cup, right?
Yeah, in China. And we're playing against Brazil. And at the time, FIFA would house all of the teams in the same hotel in like the semis. And so this was a semifinal game. We lose. And when our bus arrived back to the hotel, we were meeting our families. We were all devastated, crying, the whole thing in the lobby of the hotel, right? But because we were sharing this hotel with Brazil, they got off of the bus and they, you know, those roundabouts in hotels where those big circular doors that go round and round and round, and you you almost like get cut off by the door. Well, they saw that we were in the lobby. Oh, no. And they were beating their drums, and they fit the entirety of their whole team inside and just went round and round and round and round and round and round. And I remember Christy Rampone, we were sitting there, and Riley was super young at the time.
Her daughter. Yeah.
And Riley she was like 2 or 3 years old. She was teeny. She was a baby. And Riley started to like clap to the drum beat. And Christy like grabbed her arm. She's like, do not clap to this music. And we just sat there and we watched them. And then when you fast forward to that 2008 final, even though I had broken my leg, who were we playing in the final in 2008 Olympics? We're playing Brazil, and who comes home with the gold? That's what I'm talking about.
So sorry. So sorry, Brazil. Maybe you should rethink.
I'm telling
the
you,
roundabout celebration.
Look,
don't do it.
I appreciate celebrating. I think that it's an important element of sport. But there is a line where you just don't rub it in the face of the opponents.
Right. No.
Don't poke
They're
the bear.
celebrating, and then there's that celebrating, which is like taking it to a whole nother level. Like, be respectful. And always, that line, if you don't know where it is and where to draw it, put yourself in the shoes of the person who's just lost say, would I take a picture of that or pull a quote from that and hang it up in my locker room? Because that is going to come back to bite you. And that's where you know
that's a good litmus test. I like that.
Yeah. And it's a test in empathy, right? Which they always say, put yourself in someone else's shoes. And this is the last thing I want to bring up in regards to empathy, because I was reading an article lately, and this is something that I believe wholly in that we should be doing in this country. I know we do some of it in schools, but empathy teaching for young kids,
yes,
right? In Denmark, in this article I was reading, in other Scandinavian countries, right, they do all this empathy teaching to elementary schools and teach kids about, okay, if you were in those shoes, how would you feel? If you were treated like that, how would you feel?
Yeah. Do you want to hear an incredible parenting hack that Glennon taught me?
What?
So when I first got into the family. When I first got into the family, the kids were 8, 10, and 13. And the girls are the youngest. And so as the girls got older, you know, they would get into like, you know, sisterly fights, right? Like, you took my thing and don't come into my room, like things like this. Well, there was some sort of circumstance that happened that they were really upset at each other, and we heard them yelling. And so we went upstairs and we saw them. We're like, okay. And Glennon pulls this like jujitsu move on them. And she said, okay, Tish, what I want you to do is I want you to tell me what happened, but through Emma's perspective. And then she says, and then after she's done, then Emma, you will have to tell me what happened, but through Tish's perspective. And it was like, and so the whole time they're like totally sour facing it. And they were like, well, she would say that maybe I did blah, 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 you know? And it's like, it's this thing that cuts right through and allows,
so good.
allows to teach the mindset of others.
Okay, so we've got that solved.
Yeah.
Let's do empathy teaching.
We fixed it.
We figured that out. We fixed it. It's so easy.
Yeah.
I would like to do more research, and maybe people can write into us, teachers out there who are listening to this, of why that's not mandatory. Because as divisive as life is right now, I just feel like we should be starting with the kids and teaching them empathy. And then maybe as they grow into teenagers and adults, that there's not as much divisiveness because of that empathy training.
Yeah.
Okay. We will do more of these because I think this youth sports space is something that Abby and I feel very strongly about. We've lived, we've seen that it's messy, it's difficult to navigate. We are not blaming parents. There is a lot that you have to navigate.
Yep.
But it's also just important reminders for adults, right? On how we show up. I think that's, and what model we're teaching our kids. I think that's a constant reminder we want to put out there. And there, if you're also looking for videos or examples, there's so many out there. We've done a little digging on this. Asia, our producer, has done some fantastic digging on this. And I think we've even gotten approval to show some of those. So we're going to have those in the show notes. And they will literally bring you to tears. So go to the show notes. I mean, for one, I'll give you a couple examples. So just so you know. So here's one example, Abby. There were these two Italian fencers in this Italian under 23, meaning youth under 23 fencing championship. This happened in 2023. Tredidi and Rosati were the two that were competing against each other.
Okay.
And with 17 seconds left, Tredidi, she's up 12-9, but she badly injures her ankle, and there's 17 seconds left, right? Rosati, who's competing against her, could have been like, oh, this is my chance to pounce. She's hurt. She's wounded. Let me go in these last 17 seconds. Instead, Rosati chose to let the clock expire so her rival could win.
Yeah.
With 17 seconds left. The crowd gave a standing ovation, and the two embraced in tears. And Rosati, who chose to let the clock run down, knowing that her opponent, who was winning, couldn't compete, later received this amazing award for her sportsmanship. And the key quote in all of this: "Friendship is worth more than a victory." That's what Tredidi said. Yeah. What about you? Do you have a favorite, like, video or anything like that?
Yeah, I think that there's another one that I wanted to talk about. In February 2023, Grandview University softball player Caitlin Moses, she hits a grand slam, Julie's, but was injured while running the bases, specifically after rounding first base in an act of, I think, exceptional sportsmanship. Players from the opposing team, Southeastern University, they carried her around the remaining bases so that she could score her run.
That is insane. I remember that video of them carrying her. I was like, what is this?
Yes.
What is happening?
It's like, you know, I often sometimes think with these kind of sportsmanship moments, in the world that we live in, we haven't been trained. We've been trained to prioritize winning, like I said during this episode, not the sportsmanship piece. And we need to flip it because it is a little bit more difficult for, if you are only trained in the winning piece, it is really hard to even understand what it feels like and what it looks like to be a good sport. Because if you then allow the other team to score a run or to win a match or whatever it might be, then you then in some ways have to deprioritize the winning piece in order to be a good person and a good teammate and a good sportsman or sportswoman. And so I understand that it's hard for a lot of us to make that shift or to make that change, but it is possible. It's not an easy choice to be like, ooh, because guess what? Yeah, we all want to win. We're competitors.
Right.
But at what cost? We have to ask ourselves.
Yeah. And it's like this the purest form of instinctive humanity.
Yeah.
Like, take care of people.
That's right. That's right.
Pretty basic.
That's right.
That should be the overriding thought always. Take
That's
care of
right.
people. Okay. Party people. Don't forget to subscribe to the Welcome to the Party YouTube channel so you can actually watch the party. Don't forget to click that little bell icon so that they tell you when updates come and go live. So please do that.
Yeah. We also want to continue getting as many comments from you as possible. It's our favorite thing to do. We read them almost every single day, Julie and I and Billy. If you just take a minute of your time, we would appreciate it. Leave a comment, subscribe, wherever you get podcasts, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Be sure to follow us on TikTok and Instagram. Welcome to the Party Show, at Welcome to the Party Show, where Billy, Julie, and I will come straight to your feed. Jules, I also think that the party people should start emailing us some questions.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Email us.
Yes, we
your
haven't given that in a
questions.
while.
I
Yeah.
know. So the email is partypeoplequestions@gmail.com. Put it in your contacts.
Yeah.
Do it now. Partypeoplequestions@gmail.com. We read every single one that comes in. So send us your questions. We will continue to do Power to the Party People episodes along the way here. And it's just like really fun for us to hear straight from you all so that we can answer all of your questions directly.
Give the power to the party people.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Kate Diaz.
You do.
Kate Diaz, our friend who wrote and composed our theme music. We love her, as I know y'all do. Okay, bring it in, party people.
Let's go.
Bring it in, Abigail.
Let's go.
Oosa, 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 on three.
Let's
1,
go.
2, 3. Oosa, oosa, oosa,
Welcome to the Party is an independent production brought to you by Treat Media. Treat Media makes art for humans who want to stay human. Silver Tribe is our production partner, and you can also watch our full conversations on the Welcome to the Party YouTube channel and follow us at Welcome to the Party Show on Instagram and TikTok.